Hello YouTubers, Billy the Artist here. Here we have a complete collection of all the how to draw lessons of the Simpsons family. We have done Bart, we've done Homer, we've done Marge, we've done Lisa, and we've done little Maggie. Now, there is chapter markers so you can jump to each one individually. There are also the individual videos elsewhere on my YouTube channel. But before we go any further, please do like and subscribe, tick the bell to be notified when new videos are released, and I am working on new videos, trying to get it so that I'm releasing at least one a week. It will be one a week, but I've just been doing a lot of behind the scenes work, lots to sort out. It's been very complex these last 12 months, but it's been a joy to actually do these how to draw lessons with you and help you and encourage you. All the portraits, all the things like the Harry Potter characters, the singers, and there's going to be lots more. Really enjoy doing it. Love the comments back. Thank you very much. But there are other ways that you can support me. Now, if you click in the cards and it's in the description, I now also have Patreon. Now, that's a monthly subscription. All the videos on Patreon are advert free, so everything that I do in the future will be released first on Patreon, and then later it will be released on YouTube. Now again, there's a monthly subscription on Patreon. I've tried to make it as affordable as possible. At the moment I've got 2 tiers. There will be a 3rd tier later. Now go check that out and share it if you want the drawing lessons first before everybody else and advert free. And if you are a subscriber, you get them permanently as long as you are a monthly subscriber. So that's a really good way. There is also another way that you can support me, and that's buy me a coffee. It's a very simple way, the way that people are tipped on Twitch and streaming and all those kind of things. Buy me a coffee is a way to help me and encourage me and support this channel. The links are for Buy Me a Coffee are in the description here. They are also on the homepage, the about page of The Art of Billy on YouTube. There's a link there. But it is just literally buymeacoffee.com/The Art of Billy. And that's where you'll find the place where you can help to support me and support these lessons. And if you've enjoyed them, please do buy me a coffee. Anyway, that's great. Do enjoy these lessons. There are going to be lots more. I've got lots of plans for lots of lessons. I'm currently working on things that have been asked for over the last 2 years. There's going to be more Harry Potters, there's going to be more singers, there's going to be some Marvel, and then in the future there's loads of possibilities. There's Star Wars, there's Game of Thrones, there's Lord of the Rings, and that's not even scratching the surface. Anyway, it's great fun to encourage you, to teach you to draw. These are all really simple, relatively quick, on A4 paper. I use the trusty 2B pencil, then the outline, and there's just a line in the middle across, and then we use basic shapes. These are fast, freehand, and fun. So anyway, do tag me on Instagram with #DrawingWithBilly. Don't forget to do that and share your drawings with me, and they will then get put into the slideshows that I put on here. Anyway, thank you so much. And do have fun with these drawing lessons. Take care, and I'll see you in the next lesson too. Ta-da. Again, I'm not going to go straight in with, oh, there we go, knocking pencils everywhere. With the marker pen, I show you how to use basic shapes to draw complex things. So here we have Bart, and we're going to draw Bart, and he is fairly complex, and you'll see how quick it is. The Homer one, less than 10 minutes to do that one. Check that out in the previous videos and in the playlist. But we have Bart, so you can see his eye is pretty much dead center. So if we kind of use that as the center line, and we'll draw across to start off with before we start doing the boxes. But you can see that his entire head shape is just a giant box. So we've got about a quarter of the way up. About a quarter of the way up of the page. So draw another line there. These are very faint. And then his hair, top of his hair, comes here. So Bart's head fits in a giant rectangle. And you can see in How to Draw Anything, Part 1, Shapes, and every other video, the Boss Baby and the Secret Life of Pets videos, I show you how to use these shapes nice and quickly and simply. So there we have two big boxes. So there's the shape for his head and there's the shape for his neck. And we'll do another box there, and that's his chin. And then pretty much on thirds, we've got a box here for Bart's ear. Now we're going to draw another box, not a circle at first, because we're just getting the shapes in. So Bart's eye is going to be about there, and then we'll carry his other eye out. It comes past, so we need that box there, and so his right eye comes past, and then his nose is going to be another rectangle, and that's inside this box that comes down. And his eye, his pupil is on that line. So there we have, quite lightly drawn in very quickly, a cubist Bart Simpson. And then we're going to draw in simply the other shapes using a marker pen very, very quickly. But these lines, these constructions lines, these boxes give us the basis for the rest of our drawing. Makes it very, very simple. Now, the other thing is Bart's also got the points across the top of his head. So you need to count them. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points going across his head. So we just draw dead simple triangles. So if we kind of just come to that point, there's going to be 1 there. So then you know you're going to have 3 to fit in. 1, 2, 3. And then on this side you've got another 3. So you've got 1, 2, 3. And that makes it easier to draw the line in. Now we want to put a curve for the top of his head because his hair is actually more curved than flat, rather than being perfectly flat. So now we're now quickly going to draw in Bart with the felt tip pen, and we'll start with his eye. We'll put the pupil in nice and big in the centre, and then we're going to start here and we're just going to draw a circle. You can, if you've got something that's circle shaped, use that if you want to, but I'm just going to do this freehand. So there's a circle, and you just need a little kick for his nose coming down, and that doesn't go back as far. Now this eye comes out and joins here, so on the edge of his nose, and then we can put his other eyeball in, and there you've got the eyes glaring straight out at you of Bart Simpson. His eyebrow is just a little line going up, and then we want this line that's going up nearly vertical. We just put a slight little curve on, and then you can carry the curve on down, which will be this top lip that's coming around here. Now again, we want to just, his side of his mouth comes just past the edge of his eye, and then here you just want that curve going round. Now we want a nice, it's a bit like an S, but just that. So imagine you're drawing a big S there. This is going to be his chin coming down to his neck, and then you just want a curve going round for his neckline. Now this, when we did Homer, he was facing the other way. This one is facing the opposite direction. Homer's looking that way, Bart's looking that way. So what we want is a capital D, but you don't want the line at the back for his ear. Now again, you want the line to start just above where his eyeball is, and it comes out the side of his head. So if you draw a capital D, imagine you got the back on there. Now this line inside is a bit of a wobbly T, and that's his earlobe, all done and sorted. Now again, we want his neck coming down, and at the top of his ear it's going to be in the same place. We're going to go up and be a little bit lower, but we're going to bend it out now a lot more and just make that curve and join it up. Again, we've already put in the triangles that will make the top of Bart's hair. So if we put the centre one in first, it's just a spike. You could just do M's all the way along, but they're just inverted V's. So remember, you've now got 3 little spikes to go inside. Draw that one down, and again you've got the same thing. So you've got 3 little spikes inside. Now that's how quick and simple Bart really is. Now we're going to colour him in. I'm just going to use a pencil crayon, and I'll just erase out some of the pencil lines so as it doesn't muddy. You don't have to do this at all, but it just means you get a cleaner drawing. It won't, if you're using felt tip pens, it won't muddy your pencil or your felt tip colour. Again, Bart is brilliant like Homer because they're flat colours, so there's no shading at all, because it's a nice simple cartoon character. Now again, I'm filling up, and you can fill up the spikes at the top first and then meet up with them. So I'm going to fill these spikes first with the yellow, and then I'm using the side of the pencil and I'm pressing on quite hard so as I can get a good amount of colour down. If you use felt tips, cheap felt tips, you get very, very, very streaky lines like you've seen in the Pokemon drawings. Now they're with very, very cheap felt tips from a Poundland shop or a thrift store or a dollar store. But if you got from an art store quite expensive marker pens, and there's lots of them now, yeah, if you've got a really nice set, if somebody's treated you for your birthday or for Christmas or something like, or you've saved up, then the colour will be flat. And that's the thing, it's just really rewarding filling in a large area with a flat colour. But again, just using nice pencil crayons, you get to just have some fun very quickly. So get your pencil crayons out and some felt tips and have a go at drawing Bart Simpson and some of the other characters, and use the same techniques. You don't just have to copy this one that I've done. That's my marker pen falling on the floor as I've just knocked it with my hand. There is Bart Simpson, nice and quickly, using simple boxes and simple shapes. So thanks very much. I hope you've enjoyed that. Do enjoy drawing Bart Simpson and have fun with your art. Thanks very much. Ta-da. But today we're going to do Homer Simpson. So we're going to go off, and I know that Matt Groening, I've seen him draw, and he would just go straight in with a felt tip pen as he would to do the actual artwork, whereas I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show you using boxes. Remember, how to draw anything shows you using boxes very, very simply. Now again, we're going to put some construction lines down. So there's a line in the centre, because that's where Homer's eye is, roughly, and the bottom of his eye. And I know it's a circle, but the top of his eye is going to kind of come about there. So then if we put a very, very quick simple box in, and then we can carry that over, and we can see that his left eye is going to come to there, so there's a rectangle, and then his nose kind of comes 2/3 of the way over inside that box. So his nose is going to come over there, and then his cheek is a little bit past down here. So again, we've got another box that is going to be his jaw, his top of his mouth and his jaw. So his mouth is going to come across there, and that's going to come an end where his pupil will be, that we'll put in a second. Again, I'm drawing these lines in very, very faint. You can see them, but they are quite faint because I'm going to go over with a felt tip pen, and we'll just put a little box there, which is his lip, his bottom lip, and then draw the box down, and there's his chin. So we know that's going to come all the way down there, and then come down, and there's his neck, and we've just got a very, very simple V and a rectangle going up here, which will be his collar. We'll finish that line off at the bottom, and then you need his neck. Well, we'll come here first, and we'll do just a simple letter C. So a simple letter C will be his ear, and then we can bring a line down for his neck, and you can see a bit of a triangle going on there, and then we need a nice big box going up. Now where his nose is, we can draw his eyebrow, and that line will match that one there, and there's the top of his head. So you can see there's another simple box shape. and we'll draw the curve inside. So there, very simply, is a cubist, Picasso-based Homer Simpson. And now we're going to just get a pen and we're going to fill in, and we will start with his eye. So you need to draw a nice circle inside there. Now you can, if you can find something that's a circle size, use that, but I'm just going to do it all freehand. So we're going to start here and draw a circle shape, and then we can draw his nose going round, and we'll stop there and we'll bring that round in a second. We'll go back up and we'll put his other eye in. So that's got to go, and then we'll put his pupil in, so it's not in the centre, this one is. So there you have fantastic eyes glaring out at you. Now here we will draw down to where his lip is going to be, so just draw a little curve for his lip and then join that on. Now down with his pupil we can then put his mouth in. Now we can finish off and come round. If we just put in, again, just to the left of his nose, draw down, there's his bottom lip, and then we can just draw a nice big C. So here, we draw a nice C all the way round. Now again, we'll come up here and we'll just put his eyebrow in, and then from the top of his head, draw a curve inside from the top using the curve of your wrist. But then rather than resting your wrist on, use your entire arm pivoting from your shoulder. Don't rest it on the paper, and draw coming down. But we'll just draw this C in here for his ear. So remember, there's just a nice capital C. That little flick in there, which will be his earlobe lines, and then draw that all the way down. The line underneath his ear, the back of his head, will join his neck. So draw that down. Now his collar is curved, it's not square like a box. So think where your point is, but just draw a nice simple curved line because it's a soft material. Again, draw that line over the top, match the line underneath, and then you've got a nice zigzag, but that can just be a capital V if you wanted. And you can come off here, go down, and there, if we draw the top of his chest up to his neck, there's his chest, and there's the edge of his collar. Here we can draw down off his back. That's got to be wider than, because his shirt's outside of his shoulder, and then we can draw his actual shoulder on. Now the final bits, he's lost all of his hair, but we want some of that back on. Just nice simple curves. So you just draw a simple curve on the top, whichever way you want to go. Just touch on and draw, and then replicate it. And his final bit, his hair, is just a capital M. If you look at it, it's just an M going through. So just look and draw a capital M. And there's Homer, nice and quickly. Now again, I can use the cheap felt tips if we want to actually colour him. I'm going to have a go with this pencil crayon, but before I do that, I'm just going to erase the construction lines, the boxes. Remember, how to draw anything, the links in the cards and in the descriptions. There's over 90 videos in the How to Draw playlist, and they all pretty much use this technique of using the boxes to construct your drawing first. And you can see how quick and simple it is. This has been so far just over 5 minutes doing the drawing. Now, I'm going to colour in, and if you use the flat of the pencil, using this pencil crayon, you can use felt tips if you want. I just like the vibrancy of this pencil crayon colour. And not only that, you can control pencil crayon more than you can a felt tip. A felt tip colour is flat and solid. So unless you've got a very, very, very wide range of felt tip colours, you can do more with pencil crayons than you can, because you can press on harder or softer. You can also mix colours. But the bonus with Homer Simpson is there's no shadows. He's one flat colour. And that's the beauty of cartoons like The Simpsons and older cartoons. They would just do flat colours rather than having very detailed shadows. So colouring in is just great fun. So whether you're using felt tips or crayons, you can just have a lot of fun and make it work. So there you go. You can see Homer is coloured in, and when you fill in a big area like this, if you squint, you can kind of helps you when you're zigzagging really quickly. And it doesn't matter, like there, I've just gone into the eyeball. You're just having fun drawing. Now again, I don't have the exact colour, so I'm going to use these two. That's a light tan and that's a kind of more earthy brown. So I'm going to go softly with the earthy brown, and just fill in the shape really quickly. And that's a bit muted, it's a bit cool in regards of brown, whereas that nice tan colour that he's got for his 5 o'clock shadow, this more ochre colour should bring it up and you'll see it appear. And this is what you can do, again, as I say, with pencil crayons more than you can with felt tip pens, unless you've got a massive range of felt tip pens. You can be actually quite limited on the colours and the range that you can actually produce. Anyway, I think that's quite good fun and quite quick on how to draw Homer Simpson. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that. Enjoy drawing Homer and other Simpsons characters. Ta-da! So let's crack on with it and let's get to it. Now this one, as you can see, is a little bit more complex because Margie's amazing beehive hairdo, the amazing blue beehive hairdo, takes up so much space. But don't worry about it, in that it doesn't matter whether it's a full head one like these or a little bit of a body like we did with Lisa. This is just as simple, even though it seems more complex and there's more to draw. Again, just look at what's on the screen and then think of it in shapes. So we're going to draw a line down the middle like we did with Lisa, because this is a little bit more complex. And we're going to draw a line across the centre, so that gives us a reference point straight away. Now we can see, if we look at Margie's face down here, we can see that really there's a box, and I'm drawing these fairly light, and then there's going to be another box, that's her right ear, and then a neck comes down, and that's another box, and then we'll just draw a kind of banana shape there, little half-your lips, and that'll be a necklace. And then we want a rectangle coming off there, which is her arm, and then we need another box shape there, which is going to be Margie's torso and the top of Margie's dress, and then the final line that's going down for her arm. Now we also need, we'll put a couple of circles in, because these are small enough to put circles. I did boxes at first, but you can see the kind of size that they're going to have to be. So Margie's eye is going to come to there. We will put a little rectangle in for Margie's nose, and that can be a bit bigger, just the circle for Margie's eye. And so we've got now most of Margie's face and head and shoulders down in this bottom right hand corner. Now if we just draw here a huge rectangle, that's Margie's shock of huge hair. Now you can see all the little patterns. Again, you can then just turn it into a bit of a curve, the kind of swirl pattern, the cloud pattern of her hair all the way around. You can count these, and we will, as we just do this, and then that goes around the back of her head there. You can count the numbers of the swirls as they go down, but as you can imagine, when Matt Groening did the cartoon, he just drew them like clouds, like a big cloud or a big thought balloon. So you can do that, or you can copy, as I'm going to show you here, because we've got the actual space to do it. So we've got one there, and then we're going to have another one. So I'm going to count down 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way down to Marge here. So if we do that, we know that we've got other points in between. So we've got one about there, so we'll just draw a little loop there, and we know then we've got 2 spaces to fill. So you can do that one there, and then that one there, And then we know here we've got 3 between this one. So you could draw the middle one, and then you can draw those. Again, you can do the same going all the way around. Here, coming off the top of this one, you've got a little loop and then another loop, and then you can do another loop, and then there's another loop going over there, and then you're coming around the back. That one stops there. So you can just flow, do either the put one in the middle and then fill them in, or you can just kind of flow like this, going the loops, look at your image, and then follow it round. And we've got another one, and then another one, and another one, and then another one. It's about the centre line point that's there, and then we can just do another longer one, and then that's in between Marge's eyes we can then do a smaller one, and a larger one, and a larger one that's going to come around her ear, and then the one that goes around the back of her head behind her neck. So now we've got this necklace, and this is shaped going all the way around. So if we put a little circle in there, and then you've got 3 going around the outside, and you can see that there's the depth of field. So you've got another full circle next to the middle one, another full circle next to the middle one going towards the left shoulder, and then you're getting the depth of field. So it's not a full circle, it's hidden behind that one, and again the one at the top. So again, this one is just slightly hidden behind there, and then we've got that final one going there, and that gives us the top of Marge's shoulder. Now we need to put in Marge's pupil, which is just off centre of her eye, and then the ones here is slightly higher on the left eye than it is on the right eye, just a tilt of Marge's head. And then finally we can then bring down a little box there for Marge's lower lip, and we know that the edge of Marge's mouth, the smile line, is going to be down there. So that's very quickly, very lightly, you can see that we've drawn in Marge. So now, oh, missed some of Marge's hair going up above. So again, you've got the same set of curves. We've got the top of the box, nearly missed that. So you've got one going there, and you've got one going there, number 3, number 4, and then on the top of her eye, that makes Marge's eye there, and you can see her mouth is going to come out. This kind of triangle here, it's going to come out on the side, and we'll fill all of that in a second. And then finally you've got 2 there. So now I'm going to grab my marker pen, and we're just going to fill in really quickly. Now I'll start with the eyes, put the pupils in, and then we'll just do a circle. Remember, if you've got something that's the right size, you can draw around it, that's not a problem. Then we'll do Marge's nose. So there's Marge's nose in, and then we can do Marge's other eye. And now what I'm going to do is fill in a hair, and then a hair going down to the left eye. And now we're going to do the beehive, and we're just going to do the beehive one after another. Follow the lines that you've already put down, and just let it flow, because you've already put your construction lines down, and that goes all the way around. Now Marge has got eyelashes like Lisa, so you can just put them in. There's another one, there's another one. The third one goes in hair, and the 4th one sticks outside. Now Marge's ear is a letter C, so you can just do a capital C, and then inside is a bit of a bent wobbly T again. So you've got Marge's side of a head and then a neck coming down, and you've got the side of a smile. And now we're going to follow this shape around, which is a nice curve, and there's Marge's mouth. Now come down halfway underneath the nose, you've got a bottom lip going down to a neck. Now we'll do the necklace, do the middle one, the one next to it, which is going to be full, the same on the left, but then these ones give you depth of field they are hidden, partly hidden. So there's Marge's necklace going around her neck. Now finally we'll bring down a left arm, and remember you've put all these construction lines in. Right shoulder, the inside part of her right arm. Now you can do the top of Marge's dress, and there you have Marge Simpson drawn nice and quickly using, even though it's very complex and there's a lot more shapes, or it seems that way, using basic shapes you can actually put down a very complex image. So here I'm now erasing all of the construction lines so that when I colour it in with the crayons in a second, it won't smudge my pencil crayon and the colours won't get distorted. So again, I've got my pencil crayons. I'll start with the yellow, and you can just fill in the shapes nice and quickly. And this is really simple. Remember, you can either use felt tip pens or pencil crayons, it doesn't matter which, but with pencil crayons you have a little bit more leeway because you can press on harder, you can mix the colours, whereas with felt tips you could be limited in your choice of colour. So, and you can't mix colours, so if you put yellow and blue together with a pencil crayon you'll make green, whereas it won't be that easy with felt tips just because of the way felt tips are. So there's Marge coloured in. We want orange for a necklace. And again, you could even use paints if you had a little paint set for Christmas, poster paints or paints in tubes. You can fill in with paint and you can take your time, or you can rush around as much as you would like. Now she's got this kind of very light green. Now again, this is with a pencil crayon and I'm pressing on very, very lightly. So even though you can see the pencil's moving as quickly as it was with the yellow, I'm pressing on with hardly any pressure at all, and that way it fills it in. And now I'm going over it again just to darken it down a little bit. This is a bit of an olive colour that I've got here. Marge has got it's a bit of a green dress, so I can get a bit of a slightly more zingy green. I can fill that in and I can make the colours match. That's really, really good. Whereas with a felt tip pen, you're stuck with the colour that comes out and you can't get much gradation like that. Now we have Marge's blue hair. Now again, I'm going to start with this one, see if this works. And I'm just filling in really quickly. And this is a bit of a lighter blue. Again, if you've got felt tip crayons, you might have a darker, deeper blue straight away. Whereas with pencil crayons, I'm just filling in to see if that works, but that's not quite dark enough. So filled in all the way across. But I can then choose a darker blue. Just need to sharpen it. Remember, I use a bench sharpener. So now I've got a bit of a darker blue. Ah, that's better. And that's the thing with pencil crayons as well. You can always add more. Felt tip pens, you put one colour down, that's pretty much it. Whereas with pencil crayons, if you start lighter, you can actually add colour and make it go darker like this. And so you can experiment with colours and shading and tints with pencil crayons, which you can do with shading and gradation in just pencil drawings, which I show you in the other how to draw videos. Again, I'm just filling this in nice and quickly. Again, altogether this has been just over 12 minutes so far, and that's pretty good going for what looked like it was going to be a complex drawing. So again, don't be concerned or afraid of drawing. Some people think, oh, you know, how do I make it fit on the paper? That's why I've shown you drawing that cross and then using the shapes. So there you can see Marge. I'm going to use one more. This is a slightly darker blue, so I'm getting a third blue down. Oh yeah. So now we've got 3 layers of different blues working together to colour Marge's hair, her big blue beehive that is iconic for Marge's character out of The Simpsons. Anyway, I hope that this has encouraged you to pick up your pencils and your crayons and your felt tip pens to have a go at drawing your favourite characters, but work along with this and try some more of your own. Enjoy the other Simpsons characters and all the other ones in the playlist. Thanks very much. Enjoy your drawing. Take care. Ta-da. Anyway, let's get to it. We are using shapes to draw Lisa. She's a bit more complex. So now, again, because she's so complex, I'm going to draw a line right down the middle, and I'm going to draw one across. So I've divided the page kind of into quarters. So her smile and her mouth is pretty much just underneath the centre line, and it's going to come kind of over there. But we just need this shape now. We're going to use shapes to build the whole lot of Lisa up. So we can see here now, and she's going to have a box where her neck is underneath, and we'll do another rectangle for where her necklace is. Now again, we've got, it's not a rectangle, it's more like a cone going out, and that's a dress that's down there. Her left arm is going to come right out from underneath the necklace, and that's a triangle. So you can see there's a little triangle and then her hands at the bottom. Again, we'll draw a little box there for a rectangle. That was a right hand. A rectangle there for her arm. We've got to come up here and we're going to draw another rectangle, which is her right arm. And there's the top of Lisa's orange dress that comes under her arm. Now we've got this complex shape of the top of her head. Now, the top point is just to the right, and it's just an inverted V. But if we just draw a box and come down on both sides, you can see Lisa's eye comes to about there. That's the full shape of the box of Lisa's head. So her mouth is going to come all the way over to about there. And what we need now, so her nose is going to be there. Now her eye, we need a box for her eye, and that's going to go about there, and then we carry that line over, and her other eye goes to there, which is roughly the edge of her head. So again, we can put a mark in for Lisa's eyeball, and then another one which is going to be just past her nose for the outside eyeball, and then again, now going up from the eyeball, we've got that point there, so we know that we can come across, and then there's that point. We then got another triangle that's going to come out and come down and join on her head, on her left eye, this triangle goes up to that point there, which is the top of the box that we did. And they're not, you notice they're not mirrored. There's not a mirror image. They're all a little bit off, which is natural like hair is anyway. So now we know that this point of this hair is in line with the pupils. So we draw another triangle there and another triangle there, which is the back of that head, and then we want another triangle that's just coming underneath there. Now a neck line is going to come, and we need a C for the hair, and we need a little box for the back triangle on a hair. Now that one, you can see, matches up with the top. You kind of have a curve that's coming down, but we've just put in very quickly the basic shapes of Lisa, all in using squares. And again, it's this kind of cubist kind of idea, bit of a Picasso kind of painting, or a Cézanne. Whereas now we're going to just use the marker pen. You could just go in, you could do the dot, and you could just do the circle and draw straight off. This is quite, then the shapes are quite nice, and you'll be able to draw a very, very simple image, just starting from the dot of her eye and then drawing the circle. But I use these boxes so that you can build up complex shapes. So here we go with drawing in Lisa completely. So we're going to draw the circle for her eye. Now if we look, we're going to move the pupil over a bit. Then from there we've got to come round, and that's going to join onto a nose. Now a nose is just a nice long elongated D shape. So think of a capital D, and then you can draw out halfway. So you can see halfway from the pupil to the bottom of her eye, starts there and then comes out, and we need to put that pupil in, and then a nose comes out and just curls around underneath. And we know that her mouth goes off. We can follow this line from the earlier box. If we just draw here the end of a smile, there you have the beginnings of Lisa. So now we can actually place Lisa's ear a bit better, and this is just a big C. So think of a capital C. We had the D here, we got a capital C here for Lisa's ear, and that's going to come round and matches where the end of a smile is. Now again, you've got a T. Just think of it, a nice T, and that's Lisa's earlobe. And I've just knocked my eraser off. Here we go, we'll need that in a second. So now, coming down from the middle of Lisa's nose, we can adjust the shape. So there's Lisa's bottom lip, and we can see that her neck is going to come down there. Now we've got this box here, which was Lisa's necklace, and it's got 5 circles in for the kind of pearl shapes that she's got. If we draw the neck down there, we know that there's a circle. But if we go to the centre and we start from where the pupil is, use the reference point, and you just draw a circle. If you just go, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Again, you can correct it a little bit. And then we need that one going up a little bit. And then this one goes right out, and his shoulder is going to come out from underneath it. So don't worry if you make little wobbly mistakes. I'm just showing you quickly how to get the lines down. So now from here, you've got Lisa's neckline coming down to the top of a dress. And we can draw across there, and the dress goes outside. Now if we draw a little line up there, which is a hand, it makes it simpler to draw in the shape, and you can see your elbow just comes past the edge of a mouth if you connect, if you draw and imagine a line going up to a mouth. So here now, you know, you can come out and that joins up, and then you just do the fold for her elbow. Now, a right arm comes over from underneath that second circle in a necklace, and we need, coming down from her neckline, there's a back, and there you've got a triangle made. You can just do a little curve, and her hand's a little bit lower, so you can see there's just a nice simple swooshing shape, and her elbow is coming out all the way down. And this is why we have the construction lines. It just makes it so much simpler and quicker to draw. Now finally we've got Lisa's hair. Well, it's not finally, we've got one little bit after, and we've already got the triangles in place. But rather than drawing rigid, just remember to do nice lines that have got a little bit of life in them. And that's how you can make Lisa's hair at the end to frame her head. And you can draw down, so you can see that kind of comes at the top of her eye. Now this one comes above her ear, remember? So you just draw that out, draw that point down, then out. And this one comes underneath her ear, and then finally the hair going around the back of her head. That's nearly Lisa completed, and all she needs now is a little eyelashes. So you've got one just to the centre off there, one there, and then one just outside, and then you can do the same again, just up from the pupil, little curve, another one there, last one up there, and then off to the side. And that's Lisa drawn very, very quickly and simply using those box shapes, and we've done that in about 10 minutes. So it's taken a little bit longer just to get the outline down, because this is a much more complex shape than Bart and Homer. But again, we're going to erase the construction lines quickly so that you've got a clean piece of paper. You don't have to, but sometimes the pencil can actually muddy your felt tip pen or pencil crayon. So now we're going to start from the top. I'm going to use the side of the pencil, and I'm just going to fill in the colour very, very quickly. Don't mind about going over the lines a little bit. Again, marker pen, felt tip pens, the black will show through, but pencil crayons kind of go over the lines a little bit, but they're so soft and gentle that it's not a major problem. It doesn't obscure the actual pen line that's underneath, and if you wanted to, you could go over again with your black felt tip pen to crisp up any black lines if you want to. But again, just fill in the shapes. Remember to squint, and it helps you just to see where your hand's going if you're doing this quickly like I am, and just to fill in all of these shapes. Don't rest your hand either and use your wrist. Use your entire arm from your elbow, and that way you just get a much more fluid drawing technique. So there's Lisa's head. Now we're doing the left arm and the left hand, and we come across underneath the necklace, and then we come down the right arm all the way down to her right hand. Again, I need an orange colour, so I've got this one, and it's not actually very sharp, so I'm just going to sharpen this so that there's a bit of an edge on it. I've got a desk rotary. There you go, I've got a desk rotary sharpener, and that is a useful tool, but you can just use a normal sharpener. And if you take a long time, you can fill this in, and some felt tips are really, really good at filling in large areas and you don't get the streaky lines. But I'm just doing this to help and encourage you to draw and enjoy for fun your favourite cartoon characters. Anyway, there's Lisa in about 12-13 minutes. Enjoy the other Simpsons characters and all the other ones in the playlist. Thanks very much. Enjoy your drawing. Take care. Ta-da. But anyway, today we are doing Maggie the baby from The Simpsons. So, again, this looks like when we had to do Marge. Quite a complex drawing. We've got a full body here. We've done just heads and then head and shoulders with heads with Homer and Bart, and then we did head and shoulders with Lisa. With Marge Simpson, we had the massive blue beehive that she has, but also her shoulders and some of her arms. But now then we've now got a full body. So again, don't let the actual shape and size cause you a problem and thinking, oh, I won't be able to do this. So again, I'm going to draw a line down, split your page into quarters, and then you can just draw shapes. So the back of Maggie's head and the top kind of comes across, so you want a box, and then it's only about halfway. So there's a big box for Maggie's head. Again, if we draw another box down, and we can see here, there's a main body. If we draw a triangle shaped box, there's her baby grow with her feet inside. And then if we draw, there's a box for her left hand and another one for her left arm that's going behind. I can add details in a moment. And then we've got to have another box here for her right hand and then her right arm. So inside that box we've now got a diagonal line coming down for a body, so we can ignore that line that's coming off. So here we've got a simple V, but we want to put her eye in now. So we've got this circle that's going to come in here, and that's Maggie's eye. Up from her hand, and from this hand we've got her neck. That's just another nice simple box, and we can draw those shapes in. And then we need to have over here, kind of halfway across in this section, an egg shape, an oval, and then a big letter C, and that's the dummy. And then you can do a lips that are going to be sucking on, and then onto the dummy, and then we need another circle going around, and Maggie's nose. So these are just simple shapes. A nose is just a little box or a very elongated C. Again, now we've got a little bow in her hair. So you've got a little circle and then a triangle. So if you think of a bow tie, it's just a circle with a triangle, and we can just round those corners off quite simply. And above it there, we know we've got this triangle for her hair. Then you've got, coming off the back of her neck, a little triangle. Coming up from her neck here, so we've got this edge of her eye, we can see where her neck is. You're going to want a D without the bar that makes the capital D. Like we did a letter C for a nose, you do a D for the ear, and that's how you make the shape. So we know now that that triangle is going to go there. That triangle in a little box shape, if you imagine a box there. And then we've got another triangle there for that hair. Triangle there for that hair. And this one that goes up, you can imagine a box going over. And then you've got a line coming off from the bow that forms the top of that triangle that then comes down. And then you need a triangle coming out here, and you can see imagine the line coming down off the top of that triangle to the edge of the eye, and then coming out from that eye up to where the bottom of the bow is. You've then got the edge of Maggie's hair. Now here, just to the right, we're going to put in the centre Maggie's pupil, and in a right eye it's above her nose, but it's a little bit higher than this one, and off the centre again. So there, very quickly, very lightly, we've drawn in some very, very simple shapes. I'm going to start drawing around Maggie's eye. And we'll put a pupil in. And then we'll do this eye and put a pupil in. And then a C makes Maggie's nose. So straight away you can see there the eyes leap out from the drawing for you. But you've already got all of these interesting shapes. So if you draw another C now, that's the bow. But rather than doing a solid triangle, they've got rounded corners. So if you start at the top and do a big C and then finish it off. And again, this one, do a line at the top, curve it. That's like another C but with top corners. So you're just using simple shapes. Again, we'll go from here, curve Maggie's hair out over the triangles. You've already drawn your lines down, so you can confidently go over the lines with your felt tip pen and bring that down, and we won't go too far. Now for an ear, remember it's a D without the bar, and then you've got a bit of a curly letter T, and that's the inside of Maggie's earlobe. And we can draw the line down there, that's the edge of Maggie's neck. We can do the edge of the collar that joins onto Maggie's hair, and then here you can see that Maggie's mouth comes in just where Maggie's eye is. So that gives you the point where you can draw the bottom of her mouth out, and then you can draw the curve for Maggie's collar and the other side. And that's just how quick and simple, using these shapes, you can then start to fill in. If you come from their eye, just down over a little bit from there, and then you can fill these lines in of Maggie's mouth. Now again, if we start from, rather than carrying on the line here, if we start with the handle of the dummy, the loop, it's just a big capital C. That's how simple it is. And then you can start here and follow your ellipse line, and there you've drawn the dummy, and there's Maggie appeared. So what you may have thought was quite a complex shape isn't so bad. Now again, all we've got here is a box for Maggie's hand. So we can see now that Maggie's hand comes down and a finger is inside this triangle of a hair, and you've got the hand coming round. So the bottom of her hand, where like this part here is at the bottom of this point. So if we do the edge of a sleeve and then go up to there where a finger is and bring the finger round, and then you can do Maggie's thumb that goes up to the neck and then bring it down, and then you just put the little crease line in a hand. Then you've got a shoulder, and the shoulder line is going to come round past the fingers, and you're just doing a big U. So if we just do the little bit of that cuff there, you're doing a big U, and then just put a line inside, and that's Maggie's arm. Nice and quick and simple. Again, same thing on this side. You can see where her neck comes down, it goes in between the two fingers. So you've got a main finger there, and then the top finger, and then a little finger outside. And that comes down, and the cuff lines are on pretty much the same plane, the same line. You can even put that line in there. You can do down, and the thumb goes over, and then it joins. All that's within the simple shapes that you put down at first. Little wiggle for the cuff. And again, now we've got a U coming from this little finger down, match up on this side, and join on the curve. So you just do a big U. And that's how simple Maggie's body is. Now, you've got this funny shape for the rest of Maggie's body. So if we just draw the edge there, and a blob going down, and then that goes to the floor, and you can just do a wiggly line all the way to the end of the triangle, back up, and then that goes to there, and then you just got, and then a knee line. And that's how simple it is to put the foundation down first using the shapes, and then you can just draw over everything with your marker pen and you've got it in place, and you've placed all of Maggie in the page. She's not off like any of the other drawings, and she's in the centre, and you've done a really good drawing very, very quickly. That's taken 8-9 minutes. So what looked like a very complex shape goes down very, very quickly. Now I've missed one bit off again. Nearly did it on Lisa, nearly did it on Marge. Doesn't happen with Homer and doesn't happen with Bart because it's just on the ladies. So we'll get back to that in a second. So anyway, I've just rubbed out the pencil line so it doesn't dirty the yellow pencil crayon in a minute, but I have forgot Lisa's eyebrows. Not Lisa, Maggie's eyebrows even, like I nearly did on Lisa. She's only got 3. So you can just ping the eyebrows up and then you can colour her in. So again, use the side of your pencil and you can fill in, rather than doing it like this, use the side of your pencil and you'll fill in a bigger space quicker. You can of course use felt tip pens. I quite like pencil crayons. Well, I did the Pokemon drawings with a set of cheap felt tip pens from Poundland or a dollar store or a thrift store. You know, just the cheap ones that you can pick up for, you know, £1 or $1. And it's really good fun because you've got access to drawing materials very, very, very cheaply, and you can have fun. And it's all about just using techniques to learn to put everything down. You haven't got to have very, very expensive felt tip pens or expensive paints. Again, I'm just going right over the lines for a hand. You don't have to fill in around each bit. You can go over, and then if you want you can go over the black lines again if you want to, but you can see that looks pretty good and groovy. Now Lisa's dummy is a kind of deep reddy orange, and with pencil crayons you can mix the colours if you want. So yellow and blue can make green, and you can mix shades and all kinds, whereas with felt tips you're pretty much stuck. You can't mix colours as easily. So now we've got this lovely light blue. So you can see, I don't know if you can see there, but where the yellows come over, you've got this nice little bit of green going on. And so that's what you can get with pencil crayons. Whereas with felt tips, you're stuck with the colour. But with felt tips, you can fill in a large area flat very, very quickly. Because you can get very, very big nibbed felt tip pens. But really, it's down to choice, and ultimately, just have fun. Whether you choose to use pencil only, pen only, felt tips, pencil crayons, art's about just having a lot of fun, being creative and developing your skills. So anyway, I hope that you have enjoyed seeing Maggie done. Now she's finished and complete, and that's my Simpsons set done. Oh, no it's not. Nearly. Oh, nearly. Nearly. You've got to do the bow and Maggie's hair. Nearly forgot. Anyway, that's it. I hope you've enjoyed that. That's been about 12-13 minutes from start to finish, a very complex shape. Enjoy the other Simpsons characters and all the other ones in the playlist. Thanks very much. Enjoy your drawing. Take care. Ta-da.